Denise Richards joins OnlyFans after feuding with Charlie Sheen over daughter Sami. So yes, what it is they Sami Sheen, which is Charlie Sheen and Denise Richards' youngest, or one.
They have a younger daughter named Lola who's 17, but Sami turned 18 in March.
Yes,
and we covered this, I believe it was last week.
Yes,
she started her OnlyFans page, and her father disapproved, obviously, in a very tepid way.
Yeah, barely what you'd call disapproval.
Yeah, he encouraged her to do it in a classy and creative way.
Whatever that means.
There's no such thing.
Whatever that
means. You cannot expose your naked body to strangers.
Right, exactly.
Thank you.
What else happened? Where did this money come from?
That's from Caleb Beshard on Super Chat.
So money gets sprayed out when you get a Super Chat.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie. That's pretty awesome.
This is all new.
I'll give you guys that one.
They don't do that on IRL, do they?
I thought that given the stress of getting this video done, like I literally lost my mind. I was like, oh.
Did money just shoot at me?
Yeah.
And you're not even Sami Sheen. That's like money's literally being shut. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, low blow there. So basically.
So he got into an open feud with his ex-wife over this because Sami did this while under her roof.
Yes.
And Charlie Sheen blamed it on that. And
Thank
also
you.
last year.
Is this every Super Chat?
Every Super Chat.
Every Super Chat. Well, it doesn't seem as cool anymore.
No.
Every single time someone
Charm
says
is
my
lost
name.
already.
I know. It was like the first time it was
Damn.
really cool. Honestly, it's baller. Keep it.
It wears off after a while. Psych. No, it does not. It still freaks out several of the people who come
No,
here.
we
It
just
freaks
need
them
a
out every
crisis
time.
party, and then it'll.
Yeah, he doesn't even know about that.
Be a time. Yeah. So Sami Sheen started it while under her mother's roof, and that's why Charlie Sheen decided to make a cheap shot at his ex-wife over it.
Which
but
is
he didn't
sad.
really care that his daughter was on OnlyFans.
They're making it about the
after
marriage, not about their
Right.
daughter's well-being.
It's an opportunity for them to argue with each other and point fingers, but not to actually show that they care.
No. I also like the part where Denise Richards is like, he doesn't have a right to judge.
Right.
And I'm
So-
like, it's not really matter. It doesn't matter if he has a right to. He should anyways because he's her dad.
And that gives
pushing
him the right
towards
to,
making
of
a good
course.
decision.
Yeah. And I didn't even think that he was disapproving in a way that showed any conviction anyway. But the new development with this is that Denise Richards has come out against him again, and all of the other backlash that her daughter received for joining OnlyFans. So she posted this long open letter on Instagram that I'll read for you right now.
Yeah, read it.
She said, lots of negative comments on my social this past week. I have to say, I wish I had the confidence my 18-year-old daughter has, and I also can't be judgmental of her choices. I did wild things in Playboy. Quite frankly, her father shouldn't be either, and to be able to ignore the negativity at her age, it took me many years, and I still sometimes struggle. I'm in awe of her ability to be able to shut out the noise, because it can destroy you. I recently learned about OnlyFans in the last few months. The judgment that because women and men of the adult film industry are on there, I imagine they're on Instagram and Twitter as well. Is there really a difference between posting a picture of ourselves in a bikini on Instagram? We've all done it. I don't think we have. Because you get paid on OnlyFans? I'm pretty sure Instagram and Twitter and Facebook do quite well off of all of us. Is it so bad to control it and monetize it too? I'm sorry, but if I can get paid and at my age to see me in a bikini, God bless you. Perhaps I should open my own account. Oh, and those of you that are so judgmental, sounds like you might already subscribe to an OnlyFans account. Have a great weekend.
But this is, all right, so there's a couple things to say here. And this is going to be very bold for someone without children. But there is, in reality, the possibility of commenting on something someone is doing that you consider to be a mistake when you yourself have made that mistake.
Exactly.
It's called parenting, right? Parents, every single person did something stupid when they were young.
Yep.
You should not want your children to imitate your stupidity, right? You should be able to look back at your life and go, shouldn't have done that, wish I hadn't done that, going to tell my children not to.
Right, it's
so,
bizarre
and I'll
to
give you an
me.
example. Like my parents used to tell me that they quit smoking, and my mother and father both smoked for many years. Can you imagine if I came home with like a pack of cigarettes at 14 and like, well, who am I to judge? I used to smoke cigarettes when I was younger.
Yeah, usually when those types of conversations happen with a child, it comes in the context of the child knows that what they did was wrong, and they're saying, "Look, I made the same mistake when I was your age," but that doesn't necessarily make it the right thing to do.
Right.
And again, I'm less on the moralist side here. Like if Denise Richards wants to start an OnlyFans, I say, that's your business. I do take issue with literally using your 18-year-old daughter's decision to choose to be on that platform as a way of like launching your page.
Also, well, and I just want to mention this. I know I'm really harping on this here, but has she heard of the concept of a cautionary tale? Does she recognize that like someone can have a story about something they did that they look back upon and say that was wrong, shouldn't have done it? Like people can learn from the choices they make. There's another point here too. She says, I'm sure a lot of these people have OnlyFans accounts themselves. Well, in typical fashion, the thief thinks everyone steals. This is always what happens when a social conservative or someone with any level of moral decency says, you should not be normalizing this sexually perverted behavior. The left says, oh, you're a secret pervert. Well, hold on a second. Why is it that the people who are pushing for more perversion in society are just decent, honest people who care about human rights and liberty, and to call them a pervert would be cruel and over the line? Yeah. But when you're dealing with people who want to promote moral decency, it's open season with the cheap shots, and you can make any and all insinuations about them sexually without any evidence.
Yeah. Also, I take issue with the idea that she's saying that what her daughter has is confidence. I would say it's naivete.
Yeah, she's naive.
It's a lack of and that's not her fault.
She's in awe of her daughter's ability to ignore her better judgment.
And like I said, if she wants to do it, I say, I guess legally that's fine. But I don't think the mom should be encouraging as if what she's doing is brave.
I mean, really, what made this more despicable is that she followed it up with a few posts now promoting her own OnlyFans page.
So that's what I'm saying. She's using it as promotion.
What she perceives to be standing in solidarity with her daughter and being like, if they're going to judge you, they can judge me too. We're in this together. So she has posted some racy pictures on Instagram herself promoting her own page now that, by the way, is $25 to subscribe instead of $20, which her daughter's is. So she's saying, her I am $5 more worth than my daughter's.
Well, and I want to say this as well. The left, we are at the stage of leftism where they start saying things that it sounds like me in disguise would say. So she mentioned, haven't we all posted pictures of ourselves in our bikini on Instagram? Yes, and you shouldn't. That's also bad. Yeah. That's also wrong. And that does lead us towards this kind of degeneracy. That normalizes it. So you shouldn't do that either. They're not equivalent, but I love when left-wing people almost get the point. Like, yes, the over-sexualization of our culture and the objectification of women has been bad. Yeah,
and plus, it's not like like you said, Charlie Sheen basically got like bullied into then taking their side. In the one article where it's it here? It says Charlie Sheen has done an about face with his daughter Sami, now saying that he's withdrawing his objections to her OnlyFans. It's like a court statement.
Denise
almost
has illuminated a variety of salient points that in my haste I overlooked and dismissed.
And I don't buy that Charlie Sheen used salient in a sentence on its own.
Yeah.
I think somebody else wrote that.
Which is even more ghoulish, right?
Yes.
Now more than ever, it's essential that Sami have a united parental front to rely upon as she embarks on this new adventure of amateur pornography.
There was some
from this moment forward, she will have it abundantly.
Well, and so here's the thing. It's complicated because when you're looking at other people's lives, you don't want to tear them apart. There's only so much we know. Mm-hmm. I think it's good to condemn this behavior. I think it's also worthwhile to point out that Charlie Sheen is probably not the most positive male role model to have in the home.
No.
I don't know the man personally, but just given what we've heard about him in the news, that's likely the case. We've gotten more super chats
Thank
here.
You.
So it's a sad situation. We can see what happens when there is not a strong father figure in the home. And I'm sorry, but if he's allowing this in any sense, then he's not a strong father figure.
The thing is, he's not in the home at all.
Yeah.
Now, when we were covering this last week, I mentioned that Sami made a TikTok last year where she claimed that she was in an abusive household while she was with her mom, but she dropped out of high school and claimed to have moved out. Now she's back with her mom, who she claimed was abusive. It's very unclear. She's not going back into school, and she's decided to go down this route.
Charlie Sheen is not an unwealthy person. Like, it's
Right.
very interesting. Like, I would love to know the motivation behind someone who perhaps
It's not
didn't
financial
need,
desperation, that's for sure.
and that was the old trope, right? That people only joined these industries if they were desperate for money.
Often that is true.
But here, that doesn't seem to be the purpose for her choosing to do so. I'm sure both him and Denise Richards have done very well in their lives.
Right.
I don't know what Denise Richards gets for her appearances in like the movies and television shows she's done, but Charlie Sheen certainly with 2.5 Men is making residuals on everything that he's made.
Well, the whole thing is so sad for everyone involved. Can you imagine your wife and your daughter, putting themselves out there nude like that for everyone to see? That is a nightmare.
There's a caveat to me that it's not nude. As far as I know, it's not full nudity from what they said in those pages. That it's just.
But either way,
but they're still
in
monetizing
order to
it.
retain subscribers on that platform and not have them unsubscribe, you do have to continue posting more and more explicit content, which
Yeah.
I believe is like almost inevitable.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is something that Charlie Sheen kind of has. Is this karma? I mean, I don't know what the religious take on
that's-
karma is, but
It's
given his
not a Catholic
it's some
concept.
interpretation of that, because
Yes.
when I wrote my article on this last week, I said it's definitely like ironic at the very least that after his reputation for unbridled sexual debauchery
Yep.
in his youth, now his kid has gone down the same path, and he doesn't approve, but he's getting forced into a corner to act like he's okay with it because of the precedent that he has set in the culture.
So it says, Sami living with Denise comes just months after Richard said that the mother-daughter duo had a strained relationship back in February. She appeared on Jeff Lewis Live and said at the time that the teenager was still living with Charlie. So now did she move out of his place back in with her so that she knows she's around a parent that finds the behavior less of a problem?
Yeah, I think she's just seeking approval and attention at this point.
So how do you get somebody away from something like this? How do you, I don't know if that's actually possible.
Pray for them.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can't do anything.
The money's too good.
It's not even the money. It shows that she has she
2,000.
doesn't need for anything materially. What she needs is love and attention, and she's not getting it clearly.
And a lot of it is just that people are addicted to the attention that comes from stuff like this, right? So she has 2,800 subscribers, all paying $19 or $19.99 a month. I think I said if that was 50%, if OnlyFans took 50% of it, that would make her $300,000 a year. Is that really worth the? I'm not the I'm not the moralist here. I'm just looking at it more from a thinking long term, about what your prospects are. Granted, her parents are in the entertainment industry, so she's going to be around this kind of behavior anyways. But the average person isn't going to be able to do this in what I'm saying?
It's not a career, clearly.
Not long term.
At least, I hope that she realizes it can't be something long term, because if she's going to realize that in order to maintain relevant on this platform, she's going to have to keep taking it beyond the boundaries of what she's comfortable with.
Yeah, and she may wake up one day and realize that it's past the point of where she can't control it. She has to either stop then or keep going. And then the best thing you could say is at least she's her own boss and she can make the decision to quit and stop rather than being owned by a production company or being owned by an agent or something that you would owe money to if something failed or fell through.
Sadly, being the child of two entertainers,
Thank you.
I don't think she understands that she can have a normal life, and they're also using her as a pawn in their own disagreement.
The marriage, the kids always suffer, as we know.
I can't speak too much to the individual circumstances here, and I mentioned that earlier. I made one point about Charlie Sheen, but for the most part, I don't want to get into any individual person's life. I just think overall it's a very sad phenomenon that we've seen repeatedly in this culture, the hyper objectification and sexualization of women. And you made a very good point, Mary. You mentioned that this is almost certainly not about money. There are plenty of ways to make money, and some women will talk about doing things like this merely as means for financial gain, but ultimately there does have to be something deeply hurting within a person to be willing to subject themselves to the public eye in such a way that cheapens their body.
And I asked earlier, I said, when we were talking about this off air, Dane was making the point, he said, 90% of women who work in the adult industry are sexually abused. I don't know if those statistics are still accurate, but I do believe that in an era where we have cheapened what we do, what our bodies mean, that a lot more people are willing to do this without having gone through something like that, because the attention that they receive is also an addiction of sorts.
So here's what's happened culturally. The side that wants to degrade and destroy everything beautiful accuses the side that wants to preserve those things of not valuing them.
Yeah.
So you'll hear things like, you don't really appreciate the human body, or you hate sex, something along those lines. No, I actually think those are unbelievably beautiful gifts from God. I think that because they are so incredible and powerful, we need to be very careful about how we use them. Your spouse should be the person who sees your nakedness, not every stranger on the internet. And I'm sorry, but if you don't believe that that kind of behavior makes people miserable, you have not paid attention to this generation and the generation before it, and how the sexual revolution has completely destroyed their sense of dignity.
Yep. And people seem generally, whether it's because of social media as well, but people seem a lot unhappier than they were in times past. And in general, we talk a lot about, how much of this is mental illness in these industries, and then social media just exacerbates the condition for a lot of them. So
yeah, well, and again, I really want to point out that this is very sad. I'm fortunate that I was brought up in a good home, and there were years of my life where I didn't take my faith very seriously. And whether you're a person of faith or you were just fortunate enough to have a childhood where your parents instilled positive moral values in you, you can relate to this, that you will see people who come from households where decency is not promoted. And when they grow up and do these kinds of things, you can get angry with them. I think some people do, but I just really feel bad for them, because if my parents, and angry for them, honestly, I'm so fortunate that I was shown where the lines are. And even then I wasn't perfect and made a lot of mistakes and did a lot of things that I regret. I mean, it's just so sad what's happening here.
Yep. Want to do super chats?
Yeah.
There's some good ones in there.
On that note, Caleb Sherd said, Seamus, secret boss of Timcast confirmed. He is everywhere.
We checked the security cameras. He's everywhere.
I run Timcast. I'm
Caper
sorry.
2X said, run Brett, the Irish Inquisition and darkness.
Your darkness.
I'm the darkness.
He's the Irish Inquisition.
I'm the Irish Inquisition.
It says so with the little clover that's on his name.
Yes. Did you notice your little shamrock?
Do I have a little shamrock?
Yeah.
No,
You have a little shamrock on your logo.
Oh, that's very sweet of you guys. Shamcast.
Soci Hobbit said, Potato Man on Pop Culture Crisis? Best episode ever.
Thank you. So, let me tell you
you.
something. I actually very much appreciate that. I appreciate the love, and that they are happy that the Potato Man is.
He will not join OnlyFans.
No,
because
I
of
will
all
not
the
do
Never.
that.
love.
Look, I'm already getting my dollar.
Right? Mm-hmm. Neil Sawyer said, damn, you've messed up when Charlie Sheen is the voice of reason.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think
he went back on it.
Yeah, he stepped back pretty easily, which is sad. They kind of shamed him out of feeling like he has any authority in the situation.
well, likely what they did was they're like, who are you to judge? And he's like, yeah,
I mean, it is true, but that's where a teaching moment happens.
all the hypocrisy in the world today, and he couldn't have held on to the hypocrisy for the good of his daughter.
Yeah.
Well, but this is also the question: why is it that a person is not able to make a mistake in their past and truly repent of it? Why can't a person have done something wrong but then turn around and say, hey, I shouldn't have done that. I learned from it. That's a massive part of what being a human being is about.
We talk a lot about how redemption isn't
Yeah.
valued anymore.
No, it's
in
not.
society.
And that's
the saddest part.
Well, and it's because the cultural revolutionaries want to use your past against you instead of acknowledging that you've grown. Because if they acknowledge that you have grown, that means that they're able to. But because they're unwilling, they can't accept that possibility. So they need to destroy you. They need to say that your past defines you. And I'm telling you, in the audience, it does not. Whatever you have done in your life that you regret, it does not have to define you. You can repent. You can come to Christ. You can have your sins forgiven. You can become a different person. And I would say the same thing to Charlie Sheen or anyone else. It does not matter what you've done. It doesn't have to define you. Do not listen to the people who will want to hold it against you for the rest of your life.
That's why you don't apologize to large groups, because they don't actually want your apology.
No.
Next.
Caper2X said, Seamus has bikini pictures on Instagram?
So I have regrets. That's not one of the regrets.
Everyone's doing it.
Yeah,
It's a private page.
I love that she's projecting so hard. She's like, we've all done it. And I bet you're all subscribed to OnlyFans accounts too. Like, no, we're not actually.
Again, the thief thinks everyone steals.
Yep.
Andrew Arno said, yo, Mary, wash our merch on Cold and Dry Delicate. And F OnlyFans, join our antisocial bad app when we launch soon.
Perfect.
Yeah, the hoodie I'm wearing right now is from Bad App. It says canceled. I don't know if you guys can see.
Oh, here, I'll go
There
full
you
screen
go.
for you. Check it.
Yeah.
Very good.
I just got some merch from them in the fan mail.
I
Thank
said
you.
Mary looks like she's just like 15 years old walking out
Just
of a Hot
walked out of
Topic.
the Zoomies.
She does. She looks
Hello.
like she's literally about to go walk into a sharper image and play with one of those toys that break.
I'm about to eat a soft pretzel.
Yes. Oh, that sounds so good.
Hava Owens said, PR stunt mixed with trauma and mental illness.
Oh, yes.
Yep. Joseph said, what a day, am I right, Shimmy? Head pats all around.
I know. Look, it's been a crazy day. I'm very happy. This video is basically up. There's one more thing I have to do to promote it. I'm so sorry.
It is my
I've
it has
consumed.
been given my mandate at work to keep politics as much out of this podcast as possible. So we're gonna avoid the.
This is just like
I'll say
moralizing
plenty
and,
about it.
and
No. I'm so like I pitched a segment earlier for the vlog where it's literally Mary coming out from up here in a miner's outfit. Like I was wading through all the celebrity virtue signaling about abortion, trying to find stuff to talk about today, because that's what it's gonna
digging for any story that
Anything.
isn't related to Roe v. Wade.
Gosh, my goodness.
Dizwiz sent 2001 and said, it's pop culture Catholics time. Hell yeah!
But
heaven, yeah.
This is the other point that I like to make about this too is a lot of the things that I say, you absolutely don't have to be Catholic to believe it.
No,
I think the
yeah.
Catholics are fighting, the good Catholics are fighting the most strongly for these values. But I mean, come on, it's not as if all non-Catholics are out there doing this kind of thing, posting half-nude pictures of themselves online.
Believe it or not, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
appealing to common sense, and I think most people sympathize with what you're saying. Waffle Sensei said, wow, Seamus, can't believe you're here, bro. Congratulations on the landmark decision today in the courts. Be well, brother.
I
Yes,
know, thank
it's
you.
all
This has
Seamus.
been-
He did it.
It was me. It was because of my cartoons.
Oddly enough, me and Seamus went and recorded a whole thing for timcast.com
Yeah, that's
at
right.
at the March for Life rally this in like February. So that was
Yeah.
like
Yes.
I was like when we were there I was really surprised because like I didn't have past inclination to be at a pro-life rally, and I was like, all these people are so like young and not
they're,
old and
they're
stuffy.
happy and they're doing something
I said-
creative and not destructive.
I said that to him. I was like, all the kids look really happy,
Yeah.
and I swear every one of them like said "I love you" to their mom when they were on the phone. Like that was-
Totally.
No, it's true. And by the way, I got to give Brett a shout out on that one because I was also a huge pain that day. I'm sure I was late with things. And look, when you're running a business by the seat of your pants, things get a little crazy. But yeah, you took me out there. I think we did a fantastic job with
was a lot of
reporting that
fun.
we were doing. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, you meant it was great to see the March for Life through the eyes of someone who doesn't generally attend pro-life events because people are
Yeah.
taken off guard. They assume it's going to be a bunch of old curmudgeons.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
And it's
Really?
young people.
I
It's
don't
all
know.
young
I
people.
can't say. I don't know what I thought it would be, but I didn't think it was going to be a bunch of like kids and young adults. So.
Yeah.
One
yeah.
more.
Andrew Arno said, Seamus, thanks, Dad. Is this your son?
I told you I did some things I regretted when I was younger, and
Oh,
that is
no.
he is my son, and he's chatting in, and I don't regret him, but I should. No, I'm totally kidding. I shouldn't even joke like that.
Okay.
Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.